All right, everybody. So we are talking with SoltariGamer Bridge Troll. Wait, what? What are you talking about? Does it is because of the background? Do we look like we're on a?
Oh, so
So we
fucking love.
ask my question. Okay, we will. Hey, Placid. No, Quinn is beautiful. Everyone. Okay, so this is Quinn, Solitary Gamer. She is a transgendered lady who has just gotten her gender reassignment surgery. Is that how you say that? Is that the right way to say that, Quinn?
Yeah. Okay. So,
Tell me the
depending
right
on who
way.
you're talking to, it's a pain sometimes. Some people say SRS. Some people say GRS. I got a box now. That's the easiest way to go about it. It's
She
yeah.
got
So
some
like I
JJ.
yay. Woo! But yeah, I usually refer to it as SRS. It's sexual reassignment surgery or sex
Okay,
reassignment surgery.
awesome. Okay, awesome. And then yeah, so she's also a fellow streamer. Can we get a shout out for Quinn Firebolt? And
Oh
yeah, do
yes,
you
make
want to
my
tell
wife
us?
do it. That's great. That's great.
Yeah, I'll just make the wife do it. Can you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, just whatever you feel like sharing? This is Quinn. Go give her a follow.
Oh, look at that. Okay, so again, my name is Quinn. So professional wise, I'm a mental health promotions coordinator for a mental health organization here. I'm going to try to keep some of the details of where I live not as public, but I'm
Yes.
sure if people really wanted to find me, they could. I'm not hard to find. Um, but yeah, so I've been at that a little over a year. Prior to that, I did some. I'm also an industrial construction electrician, first year apprentice, and I've
Oh.
worked as an IT support and IT manager for about 8 years, give or take. So I've been around the block. Most of my background is in information technology. So I've done computer support specialist, programmer analyst, networking, programmer analyst, business, because you kind of had to branch off into two, computer
Mm-hmm.
science, and a few other things. So all of that kind of helped me get to where I am now. Because at the end of the day, I think in my mind, I'm still working with computers because the brain's the most sophisticated computer there is. So
Mm-hmm.
you're still fixing and trying to help people fix a computer in that sense. So I think that's kind of
Yeah.
fun and the useful skills you can come out of it. But Firebolt is my lovely fiance, and it still drives me every time someone says Firebolt. That's like that's amusing to me
That's
because
Carla.
that's Carla exactly. But she's right here. She
It
hates
is
being on
Quinn.
camera, but she's over here,
Hi,
and she's
Carla.
also
We love
there. There she
you.
is. There she is. There's the hand signal over in the corner. But yeah, so I mean, I'm as open as it gets. I mean, if anyone wants to know something, by all means ask. My goal, whether I get a lot of followers on Twitch or not, the whole goal is just to get information out there so that more people can, I guess, to keep it more normalized.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see the point of people like, well, you got the surgery, you don't need to tell people. Why the hell not? Like, if you just went and got a
Yeah.
wicked looking boob job, wouldn't you be happy about it? It's like, look at
Yeah.
these, like, well, same thing. Like, I'm happy with what I got. I feel more me. So, and if knowing about it actually helps other people and knowing my personal experience to go through with it, then that's all the better.
Yeah, no, I 1000% agree, which is why I wanted to get you on here because I was like, I feel like it's a good platform to talk about it, and I know you're not necessarily ready to stream yourself just yet, so it just kind of worked out.
Yeah, it's
Um,
hi Bruni. Yeah, like surgery wise, I'm still in the recovery stage. And if anyone's curious on that, I'll let Clam go through her list of questions and chat questions. And if anyone has stuff regarding the surgery, I can definitely let you know. But I am still in the recovery. I'm not quite a month in yet. Um, and it's. If you have any understanding, if you ask. Oh,
yes, yes, 100%.
Muffin. The people that I have met on Twitch have been absolutely anything shy of amazing and the most supportive people ever. And specifically Bruni's channel and Kagome's channel and Clam's channel. Like, it was just 100% welcoming and safe places to be. And I think more people could learn from what you guys have done already. So, It makes a
Doll.
person like me happy to come in and not feel like, I need to hide stuff or whatnot. Because I'm unapologetically me, and I think if you're gonna do anything in life, if it's to better yourself and someone doesn't like it, that's not your problem,
Yeah,
but be
exactly.
unapologetically you, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And that's me. Like my channel is like what you see is what you get. Like this is me in real life as well. You can ask Battle. Battle knows me in real life, and like I don't know. I feel like this should be something that is talked about and, like you said, normalized and everything, so that it's not like such a huge deal whenever somebody says, "Oh, I'm getting SRS or whatever." It's like, "Oh, that's amazing!" Like it doesn't have to be this like thing that people make it to be. It's a wonderful thing that you just went like it's painful, but it's a wonderful thing that you just went and got done, and I think it's incredible.
Like, a lot of people are very because of the society we live in, and this is the shit that sucks. Because like, from a societal standpoint, there's so many standards that we seem to have to and not just trans folk. I mean, not even just people within rainbow communities, but people in general. You're either if you're not masculine enough, then you're considered gay. If you're too masculine, you're considered like a jock or something. If
Yeah.
you're a cis female, and for anyone who doesn't understand what cis means, it's basically you identify as the gender you were born as. So for somebody who was born biologically female and they identify as female, they will be considered a cis female. But like
Mhm.
even as a cis female, like you look at the media and how you're looking at someone with like a size -0 waist. Like, come on, a gust of wind will snap you in half. Fuck that shit. Like, no, like most people can't live up to those standards, but that's the kind of things that society and media pushes on people. And then factor in being trans. Like, I'm built like a linebacker. Okay, I am broad across the chest and I'm like 6'1", I'm 200 and almost 30 odd pounds. So I ain't tiny. I am definitely not a size 0. So when I'm looking and growing up, especially like before you kind of know what trans is, because I didn't learn that until a much young, like later part in my life. But I mean, like
Mhm.
seeing those standards and thinking this is what I need to be like, it's unrealistic. And the
Mhm.
quicker everybody else realizes that it's unrealistic, then the easier it is for everybody else.
Yeah.
You don't need to be a 0, and no shaming if you're a 0. All power to you, honey, brother, sister, friend. But don't push those standards on everybody. Like
Yeah.
media gotta piss off with that shit.
Yes. So that's a good you going over the term of cis. Is there any basic vocabulary that we need to know for this conversation?
Well, the acronym needs an acronym at this point. It's 2S LGBTQIA plus is the full acronym. Last I've checked up on
Mhm.
it, and
Oh
that
shoot,
is
I was supposed to tag that.
yeah, it's big. Um, I usually use Saga because it stands for sexuality and gender acceptance. Covers everybody. We good.
Okay.
But most people still like the acronym, and I don't like labels. If you pick a label, regardless of who you are, and that label helps you feel comfortable with yourself, rock that shit.
Yeah.
Have your label properly, push your label. But like so the acronym is for 2S is two spirited. So for those in like for Aboriginal backgrounds and like heritage, two spirited is if you have both like masculine and feminine energies. So that's mostly like for like native cultures and stuff.
Okay.
Um, so L lesbian, G gay, B bisexual, T transgender, um, I would be for intersex. So those are people who are born with an extra chromosome. So it's like XXY or something to that effect. So you could
Okay.
be biologically female, but still have a prostate, for example. So like you can basically have both of the male or female sex characteristics. And then you've got Q, which can be queer or questioning. I've been seeing Saga before, but never knew what it stood for. I do now. Thanks. You are welcome, Toph. Welcome to my TED Talk. But yeah. So I mean, there's questioning, there's queer, and it's an umbrella in itself because every single part of that expands on a spectrum for anybody who comes underneath it. Like you don't have to be any one part of it. You don't have to be part of it at all. Exactly, like muffin, it's too many letters. I've always said the acronym needs an acronym, and that's just getting ridiculous at this point. I get it that it's helping all of the communities come together so they have a mutual place, but at the same time, sweet bloody Murphy, why do we need to have 30 consonants in a row? There's no need. Like, come on, make it smaller.
I mean, yeah, I can see both sides. I think that the side where they want their letter included in there is that just so that they feel like they have a place in this world, you know, that they can fully identify with and everything like that. But at the same time, it's like for people that don't necessarily fit within that realm, it's just like I don't really understand what any of that means.
And see, I'm glad you worded it like that because I think we all belong in this realm. There shouldn't
Yeah.
be like feeling like you don't belong. I've always thought was kind of silly because how do you not belong? We're literally all stardust on a blue marble floating through space. If you can't belong to that, I don't know what you're supposed to belong to,
Yeah.
right? Like, but there's too much segregation across the board. Even within the community, the lateral violence in the community is just atrocious. There's people who are trans saying that other people are not trans enough and
Uh-huh.
things like that, which is just absolutely, how can you be trans enough? How can you not be gay enough? I don't like enough dick, sir. Well, I'm sorry, you're not gay enough. What? Like, come on. Like, that doesn't make sense.
That's super interesting. I didn't realize that was a thing, but I mean, I guess that makes sense. That's crazy. The
So,
things that people find to fight over and
oh,
pick
it's
apart
just
and stuff.
absolutely asinine. So you're the interviewer. I'm just a person here to make this kind of look pretty. So feel
Oh
free
yeah,
to
no,
ask
you're fine.
whatever is coming your way.
Okay, so one of the questions that we had was, let me pull it up and just make sure. Where did it go? We got too many things going on. So I mean, we're just gonna cut straight to the point with this message. Where did it go?
I love Tina Turner, specifically that song.
Okay, so um, how does your this is gonna be a really weird way to word it. How does your coochie feel? Like, how close to a real coochie is it? Is the question that I got in my DMs.
Uh, Honestly, it's hard. Like, okay, from other girls that I know who have had the surgery, because I haven't been cleared for sexual relations yet, and so I can't really comment on that aspect of it. But from other girls I know who have had the surgery, I'm told that the texture is different, and because the procedure that we have is called, well, at least what I've had, and what the Basad Clinic. Hello, this is my fuzzy demon. She's trying
Hi,
to
fuzzy
get to
demon.
my yeah, she's trying to get to my candy, and that's not cool. Um, we have what's called a penile inversion, and that's what the Basad Clinic in Montreal does. And basically, they take the skin of the penis, which is going to sound, and if any of this is TOS, I apologize, Twitch. I'm trying to be as nice as possible.
We're talking
They
about real shit. It's medical. It's not
exactly.
sexual.
So they remove the skin from the penis, and then they invert that, and that becomes what's called the neo vagina, or the new vagina opening. So the texture of the skin is gonna be different, and firebolt, it looks like a normal one.
It
Thank you,
does.
baby, I appreciate.
I asked Quinn to send me pictures because I like everything that I looked for online was just like drawings, and I was like, this does not help me at all. And so Quinn sent me
Really
like
though.
actual pictures of what they look like after the surgery and
Oh,
stuff, and
if
I was like,
I've had
holy
a
shit.
nickel for every person who's seen my vagina so far, I would be able to afford a boob job by now. Like, damn.
That's how I was with my surgery, from everybody coming in and everything like that in the hospital, all the people that cathed me. Like, my vagina has been seen by God knows however many people.
Like, right, and that's another thing too. Like, I find too many people put a lot of emphasis on nudity because it's like, no, it's taboo. I'm like, honey, I was born into this world naked. I'm probably gonna go out of this world naked. I could care less who sees me naked.
No, I
So,
didn't ask for a picture of her vagina. I asked what it looked like, and she had pictures in her phone and stuff of the surgeries, and so she sent me pictures of those surgeries,
yeah.
not of her personal vagina.
Yeah. Personally, like again, I wouldn't have cared. I would have sent them. But anyway, but yeah, as far as that goes, like again, the skin can only stretch so far, so we can only accommodate a certain size. Um, for anybody who has me on Facebook so far, or and some of you have seen the videos that I've made, it's the dilators are approximately 9 inches long and an inch and a half around. So that's you can take about 6 inches for depth, and I wouldn't really think of going much more than an inch and a half around. So that's like your depth and girth size. But as for sensation, where I'm only about a month in, it takes about a year for all the swelling to go down, and because it is severing some nerves, your nerves kind of got to figure out what's connected to what all over again.
Hmm.
So that does take time, and it will take a couple of months for all of the sensation to go back. But I don't have any loss of feeling; like I have no numb spots. So
That's good.
um, like I seen battles question there about the stimulation increase or
Yeah.
decrease. So like it will increase over time. It's kind of interesting because like now where the nerve endings are trying to rework themselves, you can feel what's like static electricity on the clitoris and stuff like
Yeah,
this, or you'll get
that's
random.
sorry, go ahead.
Okay, it's like you'll get these random sensations that you were like, "Ooh, that was interesting." Like you just and completely out of the blue. You could literally be
Mhm.
there cooking eggs, and all of a sudden, ooh, like what was that? And it
Yeah.
completely catches you off guard. But that's just because your brain is trying to rewire everything and figuring out how your modified body parts work and kind of go from there. So
Yeah,
I hope that
that's the
answered the
same
question.
that's the same thing with like my spinal cord injury and my nerves trying to reconnect. It's the same thing. It doesn't necessarily go to my vagina all the time because my vagina is like really it's like almost like when my surgery happened, it's like I got cut straight down the middle of me. My right side
Oof.
feels pretty normal. My left side was like ridiculously numb. And so still from time to time I'll get like a weird twinge on the left side of my vagina. I'm like, where the fuck did that come from?
Yeah,
But yeah, it's the same thing. And I'll also, I mean, so I had a question that I asked Quinn in our DMs or whatever, like when she had just gotten the surgery done. And it was if the vagina has a clitoris, like how did they make a clitoris? And so if you want to go over that, Quinn.
sure. So when for anybody who's into like biology much, the nerve endings for the penis run along the top, and that's towards the head of the penis. So when they remove the skin from the penis to make the penile inversion to make the new vaginal opening, they use the nerves that was the head of the penis that will be trimmed down, and that becomes the new clitoris. So basically that nerve stays intact. It's trimmed down to obviously fit to where they need to put it, and that becomes the new clitoris. So for anybody who's interested, there you can actually YouTube penile inversion. That is the name of the procedure, and vaginoplasty. That's the other half. That's the plastic surgery thing of making everything look like a God created vagina, I guess. So that's kind of basically, if you can YouTube that, you'll actually see the video and the whole process. There goes Carla. Look at that bum. And what kind of like it kind of give you the whole idea of what's done. And a lot of people ask, is it painful too? And honestly, I have not experienced any pain during this entire process, but I'm also I have an extremely high pain tolerance. So it's a little
Hmm.
bit harder to ask me pain as a result to somebody else. But yeah, like that's what they make for the new clitoris. So I do have a clitoris. It's in roughly the same location that you would expect it to be, and hopefully it will have the same sensations that I did prior to surgery. But
Hmm.
the time will tell on that one.
They said, hope you don't mind asking, but how much did the procedure cost?
So in Canada, we have what? You can sneak in all you like, but I still see you. So the surgery in Canada for MCP, which is the medical care plan in Canada, and MCP does cover certain trans-related surgeries. So for me, I was able to get SRS, MCP covered. So the government basically paid for it. I still had to pay for my transportation costs, hotel, food, and all that stuff. But MCP paid for the actual surgery itself, which is fantastic. And it's not exactly cheap. And I mean, I know in some places it's like 100,000 plus. I think being a Canadian does give me that benefit, and I'm so glad to be living in Canada for that purpose because
Yeah.
I don't going through life with that extra thumb that I didn't need is just absolutely pointless. And I feel so much more me right now than I have all of my life. Like I can take a bath or a shower or even something as simple and as trivial as putting on a pair of underwear and feel comfortable in my skin. Like
I'm so
I don't
happy for
think
you. That makes me want to cry, but I'm so happy for
I
you.
don't think people get, and a lot of people still argue that it's that it's just cosmetic, that we don't need it. And I'm like, you've never lived the life of a trans person who has dysphoria if you honestly believe that.
Yeah,
Like
for real.
like
I
and
can only
Carla can
imagine.
contend, like I when I first had the bandages removed and I seen what was there. Now, granted, my box looked like it went 20 rounds with Tyson when he was very pissed off at me. But I mean, I looked
Oh my
down
god.
and it was mine. It was bruised, it was battered and everything, but it was mine. And I called Carla and I cried. I was like,
I think
"This
that
is
that's so
mine."
amazing.
Right? Like my eyes are watering up just thinking about it because that's how it is. Like, and it's and people still ask me if I regret it. I'm like, how do you regret something that changes your life for the better?
That makes you feel whole. That makes you feel
It
like you
does.
have felt.
Like, granted, in the middle of a godforsaken cold winter, being able to pee standing up was convenient. I mean, but I mean, it's, I feel more me. I just,
Yeah.
right? Like, but yeah, like it's life altering. And they're saying, well, some people regret it and some people, do it for attention or whatnot, or they're doing it because it's a phase. I'm like, honey, if literally chopping my balls off and leaving them in Montreal is a phase, I am committed to this phase. Like, come on. Like, people are just silly. But
That's what I don't understand is how people they can't see the side of it that you just talked about and they just assume that like, oh, it's just a phase, they're just confused, they don't really know what's going on. It's like if someone is willing to do that to their body and go through that pain and spend that money and that whole situation, like how the fuck can you think that that's a phase or that they're
my
yeah, that
that,
doesn't
oh
make
my
any
god.
sense to me at all.
Yeah, it's I don't get it. Like I just assume for the most part that like there is two kinds of ignorance in the world. There's the ignorance of not knowing because you don't have the knowledge to understand, and then there's the ignorance of being a dick. Both both can be learned, but one takes longer.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to break down the boundaries and everything that a person was taught from family, home, society, or whatever else to believe. It's hard to break down those boundaries and those barriers. But if you can, there's so much information out there to really show that, people who are trans or gay or bi or pan or anything were no different than anybody else. We want to live our true happy lives. We're not hurting anybody else.
Mhm.
So why is it somebody else's problem?
Exactly. It shouldn't be anyone else's fucking problem. Like, if your choice is to be, if you're a man and your choice is to be with a woman and have a kid and live this suburban life, then that's your choice. And there's plenty of people that don't live that life, that don't want to live that life in many different ways. Like, I'm married to a man. I don't really want to have a kid. I don't feel prepared to have a kid or whatever. Like, and how was that any different than me knowing that the body that I was born in isn't the body that I feel who I am? It doesn't feel
Like
like my
exactly.
identity.
It's 100%. Like, why is it that society says that you need to have a kid? Like, why is it that when you go to the hospital, say if you want to get your tubes tied, they're like, well, you haven't had a kid yet, so are you sure? I'm like, motherfucker, did I stutter? No, I did not. Chop him already. There's
Hmm.
Kagome.
Yeah.
That's my bestie. That's my bestie.
Hi, Kagome. I can't see her. She's not in the
Yeah,
frame.
she because the camera is cropped off, but that's all good.
That's
She's here to say hello.
okay.
But
So, does
yeah,
anyone
like
in chat have questions? I did see a question from
I seen a
Battle.
couple pop up, so I'm gonna kind of scroll back here too
Okay.
to see. So
There was
Bruni
a
asked,
vagina specific question about secretion. If they're like, I wonder if you are you leaving?
Kagome's
Bye,
leaving. I'm just waving
Kagome.
goodbye to her. Bruni also asked, "What's it like to pee?" Honey, that's weird. I like for
I didn't
anybody
even
who
think
has.
about that.
Here's the thing: like most of the time, most of the things that a cis female would take for granted, it's completely new to me. For example, I need to learn how to pee again because peeing on my foot is not a fun time. I need to learn where all of my erogenous zones are because that's going to change. I need to learn which pads fit and which pads don't because that's something new. I need to
Hmm.
figure out what size underwear I wear because before I had extra bits that got in the way that I don't have anymore. So that's new.
uh,
Like, there's so many things that I need to does she get a period? I'll explain that one in a second to you, Placid, because that one's complicated. Technically, yes. Technically, no. It's complicated. But yeah, like so there's so many things that I need to relearn how to do. And peeing is definitely one of them because it's like, now Muffin, be nice. They might have a direct question. We don't know, but that's okay.
it's still a question, Muffin. It's still a question. There's
Yeah,
some
it's
people
still a
that just
question,
aren't.
and there's no for anybody in stream right now. There is no wrong question. There's no silly question. I will answer everything to the best of my ability, and we can go from there. Um, but yeah, like peeing is definitely something new because I'm used to having a little bit more to pee with. I mean, I can no longer sign my name in the snow in cursive, so it's like I'm kind of
We
learning
got
everything
it's
all
all good.
over
It's
again.
all good. We got it.
Yeah. So like I really got to learn how to do everything all over again and it's a learning curve, but everybody has something to learn at some point. So
And Damien, I saw your question. We'll come back to yours.
yeah, so that answers the P question. If you got another one there, feel free to ask it, my darling.
Did you want to? They asked the period question. Did you want to talk about that?
Okay. So trans women can have periods. We can't menstruate, so we don't get the bleeding side because obviously we don't have a uteral lining to shed and stuff like that. So that's kind of difficult to we obviously we don't get that. Some of us are quite happy that we don't. Personally, I would take all of that just to feel more what's the word I'm looking for? I guess authentic, but that's the wrong word. If that makes any sense.
I think that
Um
makes sense.
yeah, like I wish I experienced everything a cis female does from the beginning right up through because I feel like I don't want to feel like I'm missing any of it and I know that sounds silly, but that's going to be how it's going to go.
No, I think
Um
that that makes perfect sense.
so yeah, like I won't have a menstruation. However, I do get cramps. They are mean, they are nasty and everything to that effect. So I mean, yeah, periods suck. I was just reading something that Carla passed to me. Periods suck. There's times when I literally crave a bacon double cheeseburger, extra pickles, with as much chocolate as I can stuff into my face.
Oh
And if
my
you haven't
god, that
noticed,
kind
I
of
have a
sounds
really
really
big
good
mouth.
right now.
So yeah, like I still get period cramps. I get the mood swings that go with it, and all of that, and it differs from person to person. At the end of the day, I am not the end all be all. I mean, everybody's going to experience things differently. I can only speak from personal experience, but I've
Hmm.
had cramps that are debilitating enough that I want to curl up on a ball and die. Like they are brutal. Heating pad, Motrin, and as much chocolate as my body can stand, and hope to God it passes.
Mm-hmm.
and it always comes in a phase, lasts for a couple of days. Like I'll get the weird food cravings, then I'll get the cramps, then I'll get to feel like you've been hit by a truck, and then the cramping will slowly go away. Then the cravings are there, and you got mood swings mixed in on all of that. So it's not pleasant.
Does
And
your lower
any
back hurt too?
yes, that sucks.
I fucking hate that
Yeah,
part. I can deal with the
I can
cramps, but
do
my
it.
lower back pain, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, yeah, no, can confirm it's not good. And luckily I work for such a great organization that they understand that I still get those. So there's times when if I say, "Look, I'm suffering right now," my boss is like, "Not a problem. I understand it's a bad month. You have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow. Take a sick day." Like
That's amazing.
so, like the organization I work for, and if I could give their name, I would, but I'm just gonna plead on that one for now. But they are fantastic. Like I love them all to pieces. Any other questions? I see Bruni's got
Bruni
a
said,
couple in
does the
there.
pee sensation feel the same or different?
It's
Okay,
different
Muffin, love
because
you.
before your head blows up, why would your head blow up? That's not good. Bye, Muffin. If you got any questions, Muffin, feel free to DM me as well. I can answer whatever. Like, I don't mind answering questions through DMs and stuff. If somebody asks a question that I don't think is appropriate, I'm just going to say, okay, not going to answer that. And this is why I won't answer that. But for the most part, I'm fairly open. You ask me something, I'm going to answer it.
No, okay, Muffin. I'm sorry. I don't know what's happening, but
I don't
I hope
know
you're
either. I
okay.
hope everything's good, Muffin. So
You're
yeah,
always
peeing is
welcome here, Muffin. Love you.
all the love, Muffin. All the love.
Love Muffin.
So yeah, peeing is definitely different. Normally, before you'd feel it more in your bladder, and now it's more like at the tip of the opening is where you'll get the little tingle, and you're like, "Oh Jesus!" And before it's like you go to pee, you're sitting there, and you're like, "Okay, is this ever gonna stop?" And now it's kind of like whoosh, empty. I was like, "Holy shit, that's peeing fast." So it's like that's new, but so
Battle says, what's your favorite Overwatch character?
oh gosh, like Daddy McCree. I like McCree. I play McCree a lot. Bastion. I can't play I can't play anything that's heals. Don't ask me to heal people. Everyone's gonna die.
That's what we're doing right now, Muffin. We're trying to educate people. Real Mama Eagle says, what's your favorite
You
game of all time?
favorite game of all time. Ooh boy.
Can I get a shout out for Mama Eagle?
Um I can't say I have a favorite game specifically of all time because I'm an RPG junkie, specifically JRPGs, because I grew up on them. We're talking like Fantasy Star, Final Fantasy, the Legend of Mana, Secret of Mana, and all of the games
Come on and
from
swim,
like
and welcome
Nintendo up,
to the
like the Dragon
jam.
Quest games, the Ultima series, anything that was an RPG really pretty much was my fancy because I liked the idea of being able to play another character, and I think that's very important for younger people, especially when they're going through, because that's kind of an escape for us. So like
Mm-hmm.
if I had the option to play as a female character even before I knew everything I know now, I always took it because I never did feel right. And I know one of Clam's questions that she asked me, and I'll get to that one in a second, which I think is really important, is when did I know and all that kind of jazz. it's it's very it's yeah, like the favorite game is just complicated. I play so many RPGs, I just like them. If I had to pick one really right now off the top of my head, I would say Fantasy Star 4 End of the Millennium for the Sega Genesis was that game I have stomped more times than I can count. And that's like it's just one of the games that like I literally had it for Christmas one year. I rented it, didn't know mom and dad were getting it for me for Christmas. I spent like 72 hours beating it. Christmas Day, I woke up and mom and dad were all disappointed because I beat the game and they're like, well, crap. And I'm like, oh, fuck no, let's do this again. And I played another 80 plus hours into the game and played it through again. Like, it's just one of the games I played the most. So, what else do we got?
Thank you
What
for
else do
that
we got?
follow, Chris Moo. What's your favorite anime? Ferret says.
Ooh, ram and a half. My egg cracked hard with that game. who or move anime, sorry. So for anybody who's not familiar with the anime was called Remna Half, and basically the main character fell into a lake where there was uh it's like a land of a thousand lakes. We'll call it that for lack of a better way of putting it. And in each lake, something died. And if you fell into the lake, when you came out, you became who whatever died in that lake. So the main character, who was a martial artist, fell into the lake. And when he came out as a little girl, basically equivalent, same age as the main character, but now female. And I'm like, holy shit, this is perfect. Why didn't I have this curse? Like, right? See, Muffin understands. Like, and I'm like, and for years I was like, what? Why could I not have had this? And I remember talking to a couple of my friends about it, and they all looked at me really, really weird. And unfortunately, when you're younger and when you don't have the information, because I grew up in the middle of buttfuck nowhere, okay, and so I didn't even know what trans was till I was in my I say late 20s, early 30s. And so there was no information. We didn't know what anything was. But like, and when I say egg cracked, the reference is that when your egg cracks, you kind of start to realize, hmm, something's not, something means more here. Like you kind of understand things, and your mind kind of goes, oh damn, and you just kind of figure out things a little bit more differently. So, but yeah, like I would definitely say Ram and a Half is like my all-time favorite anime. It caused my egg to crack when I was very young, and it has been always a place in my heart ever since.
Okay, real quick, pause for a second. We got a good question from Damien. We also have the other question from Damien, but I also just want to add this disclaimer that we are using Quinn to our benefit because she is willing to talk to us about this stuff. Um, I recognize that not everybody has an opportunity to talk to a transgendered person, but if it is something that you are curious about and you want to know more about, you can also just do research for yourself. It's not required of anyone in any of these communities that are underrepresented, like the LGBTQA plus I situation. They don't have to talk to any of us if they don't want to. BIPOC community, they don't have to talk to any of us if they don't want to. It is our job to also educate ourselves, but we have someone who's willing to talk to us about this stuff. So please take advantage of it, be respectful, and all of that jazz because they don't have to talk to us if they don't want to. We are supposed to be responsible ourselves and go and do our own due diligence to these communities. So, Damien asked, to your knowledge, is the process from female to male similar? Obviously, you can't really add on tissue, but are there
You can
modifications?
technically you and okay, so
That's what
there
they
is
said.
a huge difference. Yeah, like so I've known a lot of trans guys that have gone through the process, and my surgery is about 2 hours. Their surgery is 8 hours plus. So for that's called phalloplasty. So they basically have to do multiple surgeries when you go from female to male. So
Mm-hmm.
first off, they need to make a phallus. So they use a section of meat. Yes, usually it's from their forearm or their inner thigh, and they'll
Mm-hmm.
make a phallus out of that. And then they also need to elongate the urethra because obviously it doesn't have the same length
Yeah.
which I had initially. So that's another part of it. And then if you want the phallus to be erect, or have an erectile function or feature, so to speak, then you basically have a tube that gets inserted in the phallus, and one of the testicles becomes like the pump, same as that person who has erectile dysfunction,
Uh huh.
and that then inflate, and then the penis can become erect. That is a very long surgery. The friend of mine who had it done when I was up there, because they went in the same day that I did, but again, they 8 hours for theirs, 8 hours plus. They were pretty much wrapped up from just above their belly button to almost to their knee, wrapped up in bandages with tubes and stuff
Dang.
coming out for drain. Like, yeah, it's a lot. It's a long surgery. There's a lot to it, and you've got to come back to get a lot of it redone
Uh huh.
and to add parts in and modify because there's so much to it.
Yeah, it's amazing what the medical field is able to do now in terms of stuff like that. Muffin says he's got a real question, and Battle asked, "Do you like Audible or reading more? Like, do you like audiobooks or reading more?"
Audiobooks if I'm driving, and I like books on my phone, like for tablets. I do like the tactile response of actual books, but I'm very picky on the kind of books that I get into. No, I've never ever read The Name of the Wind. That does sound interesting, though. You caught my attention on that one. Um, Usually, like for me, Am Bishop is one of my favorite authors. They do the Dark Jewel trilogy, and it's just such an in-depth story. I like detail, but not overly, and I like old age magic and mysticism stuff. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
always been my niche, and anything supernatural. If it's got vampires and werewolves in it, I am sold. I will read that shit.
I love those too.
All right, I'm an absolute junkie for that stuff. I think I've watched every vampire thing in creation and then some. We're not going to talk about that. Shush you. Peanut gallery
Class
over here.
they have golf party. They got gifted it last night. Or wait, was that
Yes,
last
I
night?
do have it.
We do have it. And then Muffin said, when did you know or feel or find out that you were not comfortable with the body that you were
Okay,
given?"
so I'll try to give short but not short version. So I didn't even know what trans was until my late, like, if I knew you liked women before, but when did you know you were not happy? Ah, fair. Okay, so two-stage question. One, I always thought I was a straight guy. Ooh, that's a weird statement at this point in time. But something was just off and I didn't know what it was. So I thought, okay, well, maybe I'm attracted to guys, so maybe I'm gay. But I'm like, well, no, because I like her ass, but I also like his ass. I didn't really care about the gender of the person.
uh,
It's like, but that took years for me to come to terms with because I just figured, okay, well, maybe I'm bi. But just saying a person is bi doesn't really cover it because a bisexual person likes two genders, but there's more than two genders. So being bisexual wasn't it. And
mhm,
eventually I came to terms with that I'm pansexual. I like the person. I don't care about the gender. I'll deal with the dangly bits when I get there. Like it's all the same to me. I could care less if it's vagina or penis or whatever. Don't care. Really don't care. I like people, and if I like you as a person and we're in a relationship and we become intimate, I could care less what's in your pants.
mhm,
So that took some understanding to get to. And then after that, it was like, well, I still feel like there's something off. I had hoped that that would have solved my mental anguish, but no, that didn't.
mm,
And I didn't know what trans was until my late 20s when I met a friend of mine's boyfriend who was a trans guy. Such a sweetheart of a couple, and they were absolutely amazing. And we had like a big movie night one night, and me and him were up talking till like, holy hell, like 4 or 5 in the morning, like 6, 7 hours of conversation. And he showed me the surgeries and explained what he went through. And then it was like this epiphany is like everything fell into place. And I'm like,
mhm,
well, fuck. I'm like, it's like everything for some at that point made sense, but then at the same time, it added so much extra crap on my plate. I was like,
yeah,
okay, so I'm going into my 30s. I'm like, am I too old to do this? That was my first major thing. I was like, am I too old to transition? And unfortunately, when you see so many people starting hormone blockers at a young age, they get to not go through male puberty. And there's so many things that I can't change. My voice is a dysphoric trigger for me. Um, well played, Firebolt. I appreciate that one. But
that's what Muffin said. She was quoting Muffin.
oh, that's even better. Exactly. Like we're good. Muffin, we get along. But like, yeah, like I didn't know because I grew up looking at what all society and media gave us of what is a woman, what is a man, blah blah blah, and I'm like, I didn't want to. I didn't feel like I could fit, and there is no worse feeling in the world than feeling like you literally don't fit, like you just don't fit in anybody's ideals. But at the end of the day, it's not their ideas. It's what do you believe? What do you feel like? Will you love yourself? The hell with the
Yeah.
rest of the world. If they don't love you, that's on them. But how do you see you? I
Yeah.
still don't feel as like that I love myself enough. But who's that hydrate for? You or me? Fuck it,
That's
I'll drink
for
too.
I.
Sure.
Well, we could both do it. I need to go make another drink. I don't have any more liquids other than that
I'm just
peanut
drinking
Coke
like
that I don't
seven
want to
up stuff.
drink.
But yeah, so like I'm still learning to love myself.
Me
And it's
too.
a long journey. But getting back to that, I didn't know what trans was. I learned what trans was literally almost in a night, and I was like, well, shit. So I figured at that point I was too old to transition because I didn't think I would live up to a societal standard. Fuck societal standards at this point.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And then I had a really dark Christmas, and I was like, nah, nah, I'm not hard stop. I'm not doing this. I'm not living a life that's not mine. And I'm going to be unapologetically me, and that's it. So I made an appointment with a therapist and explained to them what I wanted to do. And I went and started rooting around for trans affirmative healthcare physician, like practitioners, to see if I could begin starting HRT, which the acronym stands for hormone replacement therapy, which in my case would be um, taking a testosterone blocker and then getting a estrogen supplement. So that would be like estradiol in my case, and beginning the process
I'll
of
be right back.
transitioning. You do you, and I will
Keep
keep
going.
talking. I could talk anything.
Shoot.
And so that basically getting on estradiol and then going from there. I'm a Gemini. Insert joke here. Seriously. Um, but yes, so I finally started the process and went from there and kind of, yeah, it was a long journey. It was an absolutely horrible thing at times. It was very difficult at times. I lost a lot of friends and some family that to this day still don't talk to me as a result. And you know what? That's fine, because if they don't want to be a part of my life, then they've systematically removed them from mine, so I don't got to deal with them. So that's the end of that one.
One of my
But and
stickers fell off my butt.
that's Oscar. Where's he do? There he is. He's
Okay.
behind me. Hi buddy. Hi buddy. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good, buddy. But
Okay. Oh shoot. Hang on.
exactly, like battle it really is though. But yeah, like so that led me into going and starting hormones, which was in 2017. So I'm going on 4 years now on estrogen and on hormone replacement therapy. And honestly, if I would have stayed on the path I was originally on, I wouldn't be having this conversation with any of you today. Transitioning saved my life. There's
Okay.
no way else to put that. Um, like beginning the process and getting to where I'm to now 100% saved my life. So if anybody out there ever thought that no, that's it's so bad for people to do this, it's harmful. Yes, I will 100% admit that the medications I'm on can probably kill me 100 different ways. And you know what? I'll take that gamble because I'm going to live life on my terms. I'm going to be unapologetically me. And I've got a lot of family that's blood that don't deal with me. And I've got amazing family that aren't blood. Like I've always said, you can't choose your blood, but you can choose your kin. And Bruni, Teeny, Clam, Kagome, Carla's whole family, like all the people that I've met, Emily, you're in here. Like you people are absolutely amazing, and it's people like you that really make me smile at the end of the day because you're just wholeheartedly good people. And if I missed anybody's name, I apologize. I know there's so many of you, and like you've all made Twitch such a welcoming place for me that it's just like I can't wait to get back to it. So, but yeah, like I'm glad I'm finally where I'm to. I'm glad I got to meet Clam and Bruni, and I mean, I know Kagome in real life. I'm hoping that I get to meet the rest of you in real life at some
Yes,
point. And Teeny, you are
hopefully.
absolutely amazing. I love you to pieces. And it's just life is hard, but life doesn't have to stay hard. And I think eventually you get to a point where you realize that loving yourself means more than letting other people's decisions affect yours. And I think that goes for anybody in the community. I don't care if you're gay, bi, trans, straight, cis, or otherwise. At the end of the day, you really got to learn to love yourself first. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the hardest thing for any of us to do, whether you're part of the community or not.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much for being here and talking with us and stuff again. Um, trying to remember other questions that I saw. I know that. Did you answer the question about your sign?
Yeah, I'm a Gemini.
Okay.
Insert
Me
joke
and
here.
Battle are cancers. Um, I think that there was a part that Damien had asked about whether or not like Carla knew before you guys knew each other, or like whether
Um,
or not you knew before you knew Carla or something.
so okay, so me and Carla met online, and she didn't. I guess in the beginning, I mean, you don't tell somebody outright that you're trans because that's
Mm-hmm.
usually warning flags and people run away. You mentioned your family. Did they not accept the change? I will get to you in 1 second, my man. And if I got the gender wrong, my girl, my friend, my lover, whatever, we got you. I'll get to you. But yeah, no, Carla. Initially, I didn't say anything to Carla because you want to talk to a person and kind of play out the conversation a little bit before you start telling people, "Hey, guess what?" But because not everybody's accepting, and unfortunately, we
Mm-hmm.
live in a society where you almost expect to get the violence from it. You expect people to say, "Oh, well, you're a freak," or "You're this, you're that," or something else. So you're a bit reserved, and so no, I didn't tell her right away. But once me and her really started talking more often, I did tell her. And can I be blunt, baby? No, I'm not going to say that thing. That's from our wedding conversation, but that's going to be great. But no, like I told her, and she said she didn't know if she could or not because, for anybody who's not aware, Carla is gay, so she doesn't like men at all. Let's let's be honest. Sometimes they're a bit of a trouble to deal with, but so are girls for that matter. But anyway, I love my humor. I'm always going to have it.
You're
So I
amazing.
told her what was going on, and she said she didn't know if she could, but and I will always love her for the next part. She was willing to try.
Yeah.
And to legitimately get that from a person, and my eyes are tearing up, to get that from a person who's cisgendered, whether they're part of the community or not, that just that made my heart right there. You know,
Yeah.
there she is.
Oh, Carla, we love you.
So, but she took a chance, and here we are. We're engaged. We're getting married next year, and she is. I can't even wipe my eyes right now because I'm going to get makeup everywhere. Son of a. Ah, ah. But like, she is my human, and she puts up with my shit. So I mean, and we've been together now for little over a year, and yeah. So no, and initially she didn't know, and when I did tell her, she decided against the odds, I guess, to take a chance to see if me and her would work. And I cannot honestly say I can picture myself spending the rest of my life with anybody else than her. She is my human.
No. I love y'all.
So,
That's so adorable.
so
Everybody, can we get some love in chat? Exclamation LUV. Everybody just flood the chat. Flood the chat. Give Quinn a second. Real Smooth, thank you so much for the follow. I couldn't say thank you whenever it came through. I didn't want to interrupt Quinn, but thank you so much.
To
We
take
love
my mind off
you.
of being a ball ass, I'm gonna go back to Damien when they
Oh
asked
yeah,
if
let's talk about
yeah.
fucked up family. Let's talk about
Yeah,
them.
so no, not all my family were accepting. Even to this day, I still have the majority of my family, I will say blood family, because my chosen family are nothing but amazing. And as far as I'm concerned, you're all part of that. So, but yeah, like a lot of my family still dead name me. And for anyone who's not familiar with that term, it basically means calling a person by their previous name. Um, and no, not all men suck, but good ones swallow. Can I say that on Twitch? I hope not. I'm gonna say what I say because that's what I do.
Oh my
But
goodness.
but anyway, no, not all my family were on board. A lot of them were very. They still dead name me. I still get called he all the time. I still get called my old name, and that is unfortunate. But does it affect my day to day? Fuck no. I wake up every morning. I see Carla. I see our dog, usually being very feed me now before I pee on you. And then we feed the dog, and good for there. And yeah, like, no, like, I think a lot of us are very scared of. I love you, Muffin. You're great. I'm hoping you have a sense of humor. And I don't mean to offend anybody. I use humor for everything. That's my way for dealing
Same.
with everything. But like,
Hi Keith.
yeah, like so many of us are scared to transition for so many reasons, and family is one of the main ones.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly people are scared to transition for the financial side of it. There she is. Um, the financial side, the family side, religious beliefs, the pure violence that we're probably going to deal with, and everything that goes along with that. Like, it's not cheap to transition. In Canada, yes, okay, so some of the surgeries are covered, but in the States they're not unless you have certain kinds of insurance, and even then it's an
Yeah.
uphill battle. And then you've got cultural beliefs. That's Oscar. There's
That
people
scared
who
me. I
are
thought she was gonna jump into the camera.
there's
Or
so
he.
many religions that still believe that it's a sin to do this.
Oh my
Well, honey, if
gosh.
I'm going to hell, I'm driving the bus. Who wants a ride? Like, no. Like, I don't believe in that. Like, I've had, and not hard to tell I'm Canadian because I'm going to bring up Tim Horton's story here. I've been in the middle of Tim's and I've had people shout across a crowded Tim Hortons of that's the dude that's chopping his dick off, pardon the language.
To
And I'm
you?
like, to me, in the middle of Tim Hortons. So, me being me, I got up and I walked over and was like, "You want to repeat that, please?" And they're like, and they said it again. I'm like, "What audacity do you have to say that?" Now, fine, for the record, I was dressed to the nines at that. I looked fucking hot that day. All right. And that's what they said, like in a crowded store. And I'm like, you don't, what right do you have to say that to somebody? And I'm not a quiet person by any stretch of the imagination. And I just always just kept it up. And like I said, like, what audacity? Anyway, they eventually left, but
Yeah.
like, that's the type of things that people deal with. And this is in small town, wherever I'm from. So why? I can only and in bigger capitals, it's only just as worse. Like, trans people have the highest suicide rate. Like, the people that were killed per capita more than like, what the living hell? That makes no, like, that's scary. And these
Yeah.
are some of the things that people fear when they try to, like, the transition. Like, it's I don't know. The world's a fucked up place, but
It is.
things like this and the type of things that you're doing by trying to bring this attention to people is making life better for everybody. So kudos and props
So
to you for it.
to your topic that you just brought up, there. So Facebook, it's toxic or whatever. But I saw a thing that Biden, our president, our new president or whatever, had made it a possibility for for kids that are in like elementary school and high school and stuff to be able to compete in the sport for the gender that they want to, not the gender that they were born with, and stuff like that, specifically for transgender kids and stuff. And like every, I don't know what it was. I don't. And it wasn't like it wasn't like a political thing that posted it. It was like Biden's administration posted it or something like that. But every single fucking comment that I saw on there was from a Republican saying that they might as well just get rid of sports now because sports are going to be completely uneven and everything like that. Kiss every woman's like record and stuff goodbye. And like I was just like, I was like mind boggled. I was like, what the fuck? Like there was no other person in that conversation but the same people saying the same thing over and over again. And I was like, I don't fucking understand. Like how is
See,
this
this
so one-sided?
this is where I get annoyed with people because I have two ways of looking at that. One, if a person who is 100 and say there's a weight class, that weight class is a weight class. So if you're 150 pounds and you're fighting another, say, cis male who's 150 pounds, people say that it's a fair fight. Okay. But yet, if that person who's 150 pounds cis male is fighting 150 pounds cis female, they're saying that it's not a fair fight.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fight is in a professional fight, it's skill, it's training, it's how you've gotten there to begin with. So chances are you're not just some person who walked off the street to jump into a ring. You are trained. So I don't get it. I don't get it.
I don't
Like,
understand it either. A lot of the argument that I saw was that it was like hormones, that men just have more testosterone than women, and it's like, but no, like if there is a woman that is training at that caliber or whatever, she has more testosterone built up in her system from working out as much as she does than most typical females. So that doesn't, and also people that are going through transitioning and stuff like that, they're put on hormone blockers and stuff like that to where, and I also looked into this because I did a conversation with our Olympic panel for USA Climbing and stuff. It's that for people that are transgender, that at least now or whatever going into the Olympics, they have to be under or over a certain amount of one of these hormones before they're allowed to compete at an Olympic level.
yeah, because basically what it's like, okay, um, not everybody who is Quinn can't even open. I was
I
just
can't
gonna
even
say
open
that. Thank
jars.
you. She's not joking. Like I struggled. Okay, so prior to being on hormones, most of my strength was all upper body. Okay. I literally was built like a linebacker. I was about 280 pounds, and I've grabbed the back of my car and picked it up so that dad could put the tires on the car. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I was not a weak dude at the time. And now I struggle to open a bottle of cheese.
Wait, did you
Like,
just say
but
cheese? How? Why does your
cheese,
cheese come in a jar?
cheese whiz.
Oh,
But, like, at the same time, though, all of my strength is now in my legs.
uh huh.
Like, I build muscle similar to a cis female of how they
Yeah.
build muscle. So a lot of people are looking from the hormone standpoint. If you're going to be, because again, you don't need to be on hormones to be trans.
Yeah.
That's because like there's gender identity, there's gender expression, and there's sexual preference, and the three are not related. So if you don't want to be on hormones, and I know quite a few people who identify as the like male, female who identifies as male and does not want to be on hormones. That's fine. I've got
Mm-hmm.
no issues with it, and I don't think anybody else should either. But from a when they're trying to work from like an Olympic standpoint, if you're competing from that, like if you're a female to male and you start taking hormones, you're going to start putting on muscle mass,
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of muscle mass.
Mm-hmm.
If you're male to female and you're put on hormones, you're going to start losing muscle mass. You lose a lot of muscle mass. Like if I had older photos of myself to put side by side, we're grossly different. Like I don't understand how people get so anally butthurt about people who just want to play sports.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see why, if Jane, who is now John, wants to play in men's soccer, let him play in men's soccer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't get it.
I don't understand it either. There were so many people that, and then there was that whole conversation turned into the bathroom debate, and I'm like, are
Oh,
you
for the love of
fucking
Christ, I just
kidding
want to
me?
piss. Like, seriously.
I saw a hashtag that was like, just let me pee. Like, I
Okay, like,
don't.
Walmart. I hate Walmart. So I went into Walmart and I went in to use the washroom and I had a dress on and whatnot. And this is my candy, by the way. I love this shit.
Ooh,
And
yum.
I call it gay bacon because it's basically sour strips, but it's got the pride flag on it. So let me see if I
Oh,
can get it up.
hey, yeah, that I had the Japanese version of that earlier. It was
Yeah,
delicious.
see? Oh, I love this stuff. It's amazing. But anyway, I went into the bathroom and this little old lady, I never wanted to kick an old person so much in my life. She's like, "You don't belong in this bathroom." I'm like, "Excuse you?" She's like, "You're a guy." I'm like, "And how do you know this?" She's like, "Well, I know you're transitioning, so you were born a male." And I was like, "Okay, were you born Cletus or bitch? Like, how do I refer to you? Like, what audacity do you have? First off, are you checking my pants to see what's there? Like, what? I don't understand people like this. Like, people are scared because they're thinking that they think a male predator is now going to dress as a female to enter the girls' washroom and be a predator to little girls. The fuck? Is that a possibility? Maybe. Will it actually happen? I fucking doubt it. Like, come on.
Yeah.
A trans person or a male to female person who like someone who identifies as female, I guarantee you, if I'm going into a bathroom, I want to do one of two things, and it does not be a predator. I want to pee or I want to poop. So get out of my face, Karen. Like,
Um,
no.
it's so dumb.
Ugh.
I'm very thankful that at the new place that we're at the gym that we're opening and stuff like that, that the bathrooms are unisex. They go into the same room. It's like an open. It's like very European. It's like open. There's a row of sinks or whatever. There's a row of stalls. And it's all unisex. Like, I don't.
All I ask, and this is simple, I don't care who goes into the bathroom before me. Don't piss on the seat.
Yeah,
That's my
don't do
only
that.
request. If you
Um,
don't want to wash your hands, that's entirely up to you. But at the end of the day, please don't piss on the seat because I don't want to get my butt wet. Okay? That's it.
also
Very
put the
simple
seat
request.
down because I don't like falling into the toilet.
I've done that. That's uncomfortable. You know how hard it is to get yourself out of a toilet when your fucking ass is wet in cold water? That's not fun.
Damien says now that Biden's moving America towards more accepting towards transgender from what they've heard, do you think he'll implement more laws? I mean, I would hope so.
I'm hoping that he is not the Willy Wonka factory reject that you guys previously had and realizes that, hey, trans people are just people like anything else. And, you know, they should be protected like everybody else. Like, he already relinquished so that trans people can be back in the military. I mean, seriously, do you care if a trans person wants to serve in the military? I'm pretty sure you don't.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, oh my God. Trump was an absolute waste of sperm, but we're not going to
Oh
get on
my
that because
god,
that'll
you have
take the
no
whole night.
idea.
Oh.
Maybe we shouldn't get into that part.
No, no, we're gonna avoid the spray tan enthusiast and just move on to the rest of the questions. Who else do we got asking questions? And do
Anyone
you
got
have
any
any for yourself?
questions? Oh my gosh. Thank you again so much for talking with us. Trying to think. Is what is there was a question that I asked you, like one of the first questions is how do you go about trying to be better about not misgendering people and things all the time? And that was something that you told me is like it just takes habit.
Yeah, like people are gonna, man. most trans people I know misgender themselves, okay? Like, it happens. Like, I have called myself, like, he, and it's your brain is used to saying a certain thing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's not the end of the day. However, it's how you go about it. If myself and Clam are having a conversation and she calls me he, don't make a big deal out of it. It's like, I'm sorry. Actually, you know, just apologize. It's like, I'm sorry, she, and then go about the rest of the conversation.
Uh-huh.
If you like, it's not hard. Now, granted, you are going to get people that are going to take it very, very personally. However, you don't know what else that person went through that day.
Yeah.
You don't know if they have a support system. Do they have friends that they can count on? Are they going through this entire journey alone? Which, let me tell you, I did for quite a big, long time, and it was a pain in the ass. Like, no. But yes, don't make a big freaking deal out of it. People are going to fuck up. That is bound to happen.
Hey,
It
Irie.
does. Hi.
Irie,
But
we are
like,
talking. We are talking a fun conversation right now. If you want to jump in with us, if you have any questions or anything like that. Um.
but yeah, so like I wouldn't I say honestly, if you think about it too much, you're gonna fuck it up. Straight up.
Mhm.
Like if you worry about, oh my god, I'm gonna get it wrong, oh my god, I'm gonna get it wrong, you're gonna get it wrong. Like it's not, but if you just think about it and just go about your day. You made a mistake, apologize, move on. That's all
um.
any of us can ask.
Ari
That's a
says, "What's the
mouthful.
topic?"
What's the topic? That's a ooh boy.
So we are
Um,
talking with Quinn, SoltariGamer. And if you want to go over the topic,
sure. So, um,
we've answered a
topic.
lot of questions
Wow.
already.
Yeah. Wow. You're gonna want to rewatch this stream. I
It's a,
recommend it. Um, so basically, I identify as female, and I've recently had my SRS, which is sexual reassignment surgery, and hi. And Clam is asking a bunch of questions. So is everybody in chat because I'm about the most open trans person you're probably ever going to find. And I literally give two shits about most things. So I try to answer everything as honestly as I can. I try to keep some humor into it because two ends. Think Harley Quinn, case in point.
oh, that was the other
So,
question. Davey was asking if you had tattoos. I
oh
forgot.
my, yeah, I've got a couple of tattoos actually. Um, but yeah, so we're basically talking about everything and how to be a better ally, how to deal. Yeah, that's Oscar. That's my resident parrot,
Oh, it's
and
on your
how to be a better
chair.
ally. Oh yeah, he literally just sits on the back of my chair. That's what he does. So how to be a better ally, how to how to deal with screwing up pronouns and all that kind of stuff. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just called being a decent human being. Don't treat other people like shit. Try to understand or at least be empathetic of the person you're talking to, whether you know them or not, and just kind of go from there. Like it's really not rocket science. Humans are good people if given the chance to be good people. I strongly believe that. It's just we're also led very easily, and media and everything else kind of tells us we have to be a certain way when we don't. Be
Mm-hmm.
yourself, treat everyone good. I mean, that's it. It's not really, it's not that hard.
Yeah. How do I get to
How do you
be
get to be
okay?
okay with dumb questions? Look at it that ignorance comes in two forms: the ignorance of not having to knowledge to know the difference, and the ignorance of being a dick. You're going to end up dealing with both. Both can be taught, but one takes longer. So at the end of the day, there may be questions that you perceive as dumb questions, but that person might not actually know the difference. They might not have the knowledge or the understanding to properly ask the question they're trying to ask in order to get the answer that they're looking for, so they do it to the best of their ability. I try not to look at a person asking me a question as being dumb or trying to be snarky. I try to look at it as they may not have the understanding. I think you're doing great, Muffin. I don't like, I can understand. if you're part of the community or know people in the community and you get defensive for them. And we appreciate that you care so much about us to do that. And for situations like this, I've got a thick skin. If someone's going to ask me a question that most would consider dumb, then no, you're not an arrogant asshole. You're strongly opinionated in what you understand and what you have in defense of the people you know, and I approve of that, and I think that's great. It's but not everybody has the knowledge, the understanding, or the education to answer or ask the questions they're trying to find the answers to. So they try to do it in the best way they can.
Yeah, Irie and Ferret are on the same page. We talked about this earlier too. Irie is that like we just don't understand like why people have such a hard time just like not letting people be who the fuck they are. Like it's really not that difficult. It doesn't actually affect you. So keep your nose where it fucking belongs and deal with your own shit. Like it does. It's like I don't understand it. I don't think I'll ever understand it. Like
A friend of mine told me a very long time ago when I started transitioning, and it's a joke, it's a meme online, everyone's seen it, but it's called the rule of F3. So if you're not feeding me, financing me, or fucking me, your opinion doesn't matter. And I've been sticking with that one, and it's effective.
I think that's perfect. I've never heard that before. I love that.
F3. That rule
F3.
applies and that rule works.
Does anyone in chat have any questions for Quinn about transitioning or about how to just be a better ally? How to I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I pulled up a list of questions if we ran out of them or whatever from like an article. I don't think that some of them are worded very kindly, but I could do my
Even if
best
they're
to.
not worded kindly, feel free to ask, because at the end of the day, just because a question comes from a place of ignorance doesn't mean that the answer won't be.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Hang on, let me grab my phone. Ow. Don't be a dick. Plain and simple.
I mean,
Well, okay.
that is working, but at the same time, not everybody intentionally tries to be a dick, like I was saying before. So it depends, really. I think empathy is the biggest thing, and it's also something that 90% of the populace lacks. We are so caught up in what's going on that we can't take the time to really look at what it's like to be in the person we're talking to's shoes. And if everybody took a few seconds of their day when they're talking to somebody to really understand what it's like to be that person, then I think it'll be a whole lot better world because of it. Bruni says she has a question.
Love you. Love you, Irie. And I had a question. I found a question.
Sure, and Bruni can ask hers as well.
Yeah, I'll let Brittany ask hers first. I have to pee.
Anytime, Muffin. Anytime. Feel free to add me, follow me, talk to me. I'm down. I like talking to people. Wow, if Bruni's taking this long to type. It's a big question.
It's a big question.
It could just be a lot of spacebar hits too. You never know.
Uh huh.
This is like the best candy in the world, and it gives me time to shove more in my face. Oh shit! Got a question. All right. With Jazz, and Quinn knows who I'm talking about, do you also like her? Do you have a thing for mermaids? Do you, as a trans person, connect with mermaids? No, not really.
Who's Jazz?
Honestly, Jazz Jennings. She's the show is like I'm So
Oh, I
Jazz, I
know the
think it's called.
show. Yeah, I don't know anything about
Yeah,
the
like
mermaids though.
some people have their thing. Like I don't know, for some reason, all trans people are also supposed to have this thing with pickles. Don't get it. Like I'm not a very stereotypical trans person, in the sense that I don't really try to be, I guess, hyper feminine from a trans female perspective. I'm pretty tomboyish for the most part. Like, drop me in the middle of woods, I will build you a shelter and scavenge you food to survive. I just love it. But I mean, everybody has their little niche, and I guess that's hers. Love you too, Muffin. Have a good evening, and I hope the rest of your day goes good. Would you like for people
No,
to
you're totally
educate
fine,
younger
Irie.
people? 100%, Damien. I think that the education system could be 100% tweaked. And there are people as old enough to say their first words and realizing that they are not in the wrong body. So I don't see why that shouldn't be taught younger. Um, for a statistical point, some of the youngest people that have ever committed suicide, which is a dark topic, were 5 years old. Can you imagine that? Let that
Accidentally
sink in
gifted
for
a
a
tier
minute.
1 sub to
So
I_r_r_i_.
imagine again having
They
the
have
one of the
given
highest
3 gift
suicide rates
subs in
being
the
of people who
channel.
are trans. So yes, I think that the to educate younger people about those who are transgender and what needs to be done there. They need to bring people in who are. I'm 100% for allies. Let me say that first. I think that people like I think that having an ally go in to give a talk about something is all well and good. I think that's great, but at the same time, I don't see why they couldn't potentially reach out to people within the community. I've got a big mouth and I'm okay with using it, so I don't see why you can't find other people to do the same. And actually, like, I go into schools and I've talked with many schools in my area and around my area about 2S LGBTQ diversity and how to different terminology and whatnot, and trying to just educate as much as possible. I do it with faculty as well, so that way they kind of get more of an understanding. So yes, education, information is information. Just because you have it doesn't mean it's all going to be bad or anything like that. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it's got to be taught. It's just got to be taught, man. It's not hard
Yeah.
to teach people at a young age that people who are trans are not crazy like they used to think. Used to be actually in the DSM-5 at one point as a mental disorder. Like,
Mm-hmm.
no, we are not. I mean, okay, I'm a little bit loopy, but not every of us are loopy.
Who isn't though?
I will never pretend to be normal, and I don't even like the term normal. Again, it's just a
No.
label. But yeah, like, no, it's got to be taught, man. It's got to be brought into schools. Once if they're old enough to understand male from female, then they should be, and like non-binary, because I'm not going to exclude my non-binary friends and family. They like then transgender should be mentioned as well. And I think a lot of people are, hey giggities, a lot of people are trying to make those changes, and I think that's amazing. And effort is being put into it. It's gonna take time, man. Like, it's just gonna take time. Hopefully, we get there.
Yeah. Kagome, hi. Go back, hi, giggities. Okay, anyone have any questions? Because if not, I have one from a list that seems weird, but I want to ask it anyways. It definitely needs to be talked about in schools. Jam with y'all.
100%.
Irie, Emily, thank you guys so much for the subs. I appreciate you. Love you.
I'm gonna shove this into my mouth while I'm waiting for another question.
Okay. All right. Well, I have a question from
True.
the internets. So it's something along the lines, and hopefully I don't say this the wrong way. It's something along the lines of there's a confusion between transgendered people and drag queens, or also, and I hope that this term isn't offensive, but it seems like it could be cross dressers.
I don't
Um,
understand how anybody would look at either of those terms as offensive
okay, well
unless
I
they're
just well, not drag queen, but like cross dressers. Like I feel like there's I know
okay.
what it literally means, but I don't know. You know, people these days.
Let me put it to you this way, honey. Western culture is kind of cray cray. Um, if you go to Japanese theater, most of the what's the word I'm looking for? Help me out here, somebody. The
Geishas.
geishas were men dressed as women.
Oh, were they?
Like, it was part of theater.
Yeah.
No big deal. Some were, exactly. I don't understand the problem there. And here's the other thing. Why do clothes matter?
Yeah.
When it comes to, like, I don't think, thank you, Muffin. I appreciate that. Um, I don't understand why clothing has a gender, but that's just a pain in the ass. But yeah, no, like, if somebody wants to cross dress, man, have at it. I
Yeah.
don't care. Like, I don't see why anybody should care. Like, if right? Like, Clam, I'll use you as an example. If you go to the store and buy a pair, like a suit, like a nice tailored suit,
Uh-huh.
which by the way, I think you would fucking rock, okay, honey? But
I would.
nobody would say a thing. You would look amazing in that suit. But yet, if a male goes in and buys a dress that looks fucking amazing, pardon my language, because I'm trying to keep it as PG as possible,
No, the bitch.
like,
That ain't PG in here.
but it's frowned upon. Why?
Yeah,
It
why?
makes no sense. And like, to getting back to initially, like, drag queens, it's show. It's show. It's Are some drag queens gay? Yes. I know straight drag queens. I know trans people that do drag. Does that make them any less of drag queens? Fuck no. Have
Yeah.
at it. Like, I
Love you,
don't.
Ferret.
Oh, love you. There is so much. Well, hello. You're randomly lurking up there in the corner of my screen. That was creepy. But yeah,
That's
like,
the
there's
point.
just so much emphasis on, well, it's boys' clothes or girls' clothes. How many girls go out and buy, like, boxer shorts because they're more comfortable?
Hi, Busy. Welcome in.
Like, I don't get it. And on the
Yeah,
topic of clothing, why the fuck don't girls' clothes have pockets? This shit was invented in the bloody dark ages, for Christ's sake. You're telling me I can't have a pair of jeans with pockets in it? I'm done. I'm done my rant.
I no, I feel that, and I asked it because I knew that I know that it's a question that I think some people that aren't very educated don't understand, and so I think one of the ways that I saw it explained is drag dressing in drag is seen as more of like an art form,
It is.
as more of an um a stage like art show like type of thing. Cross dressing is more of a personal thing. It's not necessarily that anyone is gay or not gay or whatever. It's just something that they enjoy and they like to do. And some people do it at the in the privacy of their own home, and then some people do it out in public or whatever. Like, and then being transgenders is just completely different than both of those things.
Really, though, like, okay, I'm trans, obviously, at this point, and I don't ever think I'm ever not going to be trans. I know a lot of people think that once you had the surgery that you're no longer trans. I'm like, no, trans is a journey. I'm still on that journey, so hey, still trans. But, like, cross dressing, I think it's just a person wants to wear the societal other gender's clothes, because I still don't think fucking clothing has a gender. And I don't see a problem with it. Drag is more of the theatric side.
Hmm.
Like, and I think a lot of drag queens get a really horrible fucking name for it, and I think that's stupid. Like, do you know how much skill it takes to be a 6'2" dude with a beard that can come out looking better than fucking Madonna in her best day? That is skill, honey. Rock that shit.
Uh-huh.
Like, no. Like, exactly. Like, everything tucked and looking smoother than a baby's ass. Like, that takes skill. Like, you can't just wing that, you know? Like, nah, man. Like, this people got to get out of their own way.
Yeah. Oh my! I went
I'm
to a drag
so
show.
glad I never have the tuck anymore. Battle. Oh my god, that was annoying.
The one and only time that I've been able to go to a drag show was when I got taken to one for my bachelorette party or whatever, and it was amazing. I loved it so much.
I love drag shows. Like, I'm not a huge fan of RuPaul's Drag Race, minus like 1 or 2 seasons. But that's not because I don't like drag queens. It's because I'm not a fan of glam. You know what I
Uh huh.
mean?
Yeah.
That's not my thing.
Yeah.
Most of the people that I know that do cross dressing don't do glam. They do what you would consider your average typical look, but in the opposite like societal gendered role looking clothing.
Hmm.
Know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, like, I'm not a personal fan of the big glam. Some of the drag queens that I've liked on RuPaul's Drag Race do a very believable female presentation.
Hmm.
So I guess that's a good, interesting way to look at it. Battle, like, cross dressing is more of a natural look, and that's fine. If you like glam, like I know Kagome loves watching RuPaul's Drag Race, and I'll watch it with her. I love watching, like, holy shit, look at that tuck. That tuck is amazing. Or that winged eyeliner is on point. You could stab a bitch with that. Like, you know what I mean?
You could stab a bitch with that.
Like it's people got to get out of their own way, and at the end of the day, those who wonder about are they doing drag, or are they like cross-dressing, or are they trans, what the bloody hell does it matter to you if they aren't, or are? Like, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Here you go. I didn't eat this piece yet.
Yeah. No, I agree. I like watching stuff like that. I honestly just have so much respect for people that are like ridiculously confident, because I'm not, and so like when I see people that are, it automatically like makes me like be more confident and everything like that. So I don't know. That's just one of the reasons why I like watching drag shows, because it's just like, man, like these bitches are so confident. Like I wish I could do that.
You can.
I know, but like I can't.
I love gay bacon. Gay bacon's amazing.
I love gay bacon. Okay. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions for Quinn?
Ask anything you like, guys. I'm pretty open with this stuff.
I'm super psyched that I was there the first night that you did a face cam reveal, and like it
Oh
was
my
like
god. Go for
unplanned.
it, battle. Yeah, so about that. So I was planning on being like a VTuber,
Uh
and
huh.
um my software was being an absolute freaking twat waffle and not working. And favorite part about being fully transitioned, I'll get to that in one sec, Placid. I got you, boo. I got you, boo. Yeah, so my software was fucking up, and I'm like, you know what? Screw it. And I just turned it off and just went live as me. And
Uh
I'm like,
huh.
oh damn. But it was just, yeah. I didn't think I'd ever get my face, because I hate how I look, and I don't mean that into like the whole negative, negative, negative. I don't feel comfortable in that sense, just because I don't know. Like I love you, Battle. You're great. For in reference, when I was in high school, I was like 350 odd pounds at one point. When you're used to seeing that so many times in the mirror, it's hard to see who you are now.
Mhm.
I spent 39 years looking at him in the mirror. It's
Uh
hard
huh.
to look in a mirror and see her now. Does that make me any less of the woman I am? Fuck no, honey. I am a queen, okay? But
Yes, bitch.
I still see him when I look in a mirror, because I see things that remind me of him. I hear my voice, which was his voice, so that still reminds me of being who I used to be, or my size, or other things like that. And it's like, it's it those are
Yes.
things that everybody
Yes.
learns to kind of accept. Is my voice ever going to change on hormones? No. Like, the female to male, yes, your voice will get deeper because your vocal cords elongate because of testosterone. Mine have already elongate because of testosterone, so my
Mhm.
voice is not going to get any higher. I can talk in a higher pitch, but then you have to mentally think to keep yourself in that higher pitch all the time, and it's difficult to do. So, like, yeah, I can talk like this if I really want to, but why the hell would I wanna? This is me. Like, I'm gonna be me. Whether I like all the things about myself or not, no. But you tell me one person that likes all the things about themselves.
Yeah, it's true. Hi, Ritz. Yeah, we're doing a little talk show with Quinn, SoltariGamer. Can I get a shout out for Quinn, please? Damien says, "Hold up, 39. You look 20." And we're having a chit chat, asking questions. Quinn is our star today. It should be in the stream title if you would like to ask any questions. Going over the topic of the conversation is a little broad, so yeah, if there's anything that comes to mind, ask away.
And if there's any questions that you don't feel right asking in a chat, like she just like shouted out me, feel free to DM me. I don't mind answering questions. Like, I think most of this stuff should be normalized at this point. Unfortunately,
Mm-hmm.
in still society, we are not. If Quinn used a green screen, her head would look so funny. I'm like, but yeah. So let's see. There was
No, like
another
your headset
question.
because it's green.
Oh, yeah. I wanted the pink one, but I couldn't afford it. Uh, anything. I just like almost anything pink. There was a question. There's a question. I know there's a question up here somewhere. Somebody asked me, "Where you at? Where you at? Where you at?" Nope, nope, nope. Uh,
Well, yeah, Ritz. At this point, we've answered a lot of the questions, but if there's
Yes,
anything at
Placid asked me,
all,
"What's your favorite part about being
oh
fully
yeah.
transitioned?" Yeah, I didn't forget about you. I got you. So I don't think I'm ever going to be fully transitioned. I know a lot of people look at after you get surgery, you're done. Um, trans trans is the journey. Okay. I don't think that journey ever ends. If the journey ever ends, that means you've stopped learning. I'm never going to
Mm-hmm.
stop learning who I am any more than anybody else is. There's always going to be other things that are going to come up in my life that I'm going to make a decision or a choice on which way things are going to go. That's another divergent path on this journey that I'm going to take. So the journey never ends. Every day I'm learning more about myself than I am the day before. So I don't ever think I'm ever going to be fully transitioned in that respect. But my favorite thing about everything right now, not sitting on testicles, because man, that is uncomfortable. That hurts. Like, hell no. Anybody in this chat that still has them, if you have accidentally crushed one, you know exactly what I'm talking about, and that is very uncomfortable. Right? Battle? You, I, man, no, that shit hurts. That shit fucking hurts,
I
okay?
I
No.
can't speak to that, but I can only imagine.
No, no, you don't want them. Trust me. Velvet eggs. Oh, I like that one. I like that reference. They're now known as
Oh my
velvet eggs. I
gosh.
appreciate that. Thoughts on genders being assigned colors, boys. Nah, Damien, man, colors don't mean shit when it comes to boys, not girls, anything in between, non-binary, and all that fun stuff in between. I don't, man, no. I don't see how color. If a girl dresses in blue, is she not a girl? What? No, man,
Yeah.
I never understood that, and that's a hospital thing. I never did understand that. They're like the little boys are put into blue and the little girls are put into pink. What if you're colorblind and you can't see those colors? Do you not know what the gender is of the kid? Like, come on, man. Like the
Yeah.
gender is in your head. There's biological gender, which is what you're born as, and then there's the gender, like there's your gender expression, there's your biological sex, and everything else, and all of it is different. I don't care if you were born with an extra thumb or not. You can't tell the gender of that infant until they have the capacity to process that for themselves.
Uh-huh.
And I don't think, I'm sorry if I talk really fast. I can
No,
outspeak the
you're
old micro
fine.
machines. Carla's like, honey, you're talking really quickly. I'm like, honey, you have not heard me talk fast yet, okay? Besides, my tongue moves quick. You should appreciate it, damn it.
Oh
But like,
shit!
I'm being glared at, but I had that one coming, so
Oh
that's
my
okay.
gosh. Battle. You should definitely paint your nails.
Hells yes,
If you
rock that
want to do
shit.
it, do it.
Okay. Any other questions? Like, keep them coming, man. Like seriously. And again, if you don't want to ask them here and you want to DM me, by all means, feel free. Ooh, what color? What colors do you have? Would be my question.
Jeffrey said, "What age were you when you realized your gender wasn't the gender that you felt?" And you kind
I've
of already
always
answered
known.
that earlier.
Well, kind of, yeah. Like I've always known at a young age something was off, and I didn't know what it was, and I didn't really know what trans was until my late 20s, and then it was kind of like an epiphany. Everything kind of fell into place, and I'm like, oh damn. So it was kind of like really oof at that point. But once I figured it out, I would say an exact year I wouldn't be able to peg it. But once I had that conversation with my friend, I knew that everything kind of made sense then. And I was like, oh, okay. So okay, everything kind of makes sense now. So I hope that answers your question. And if not, feel free to DM me and I can go into more detail if you need me to.
Battle peach, like a
Ooh,
nude, like a coral would be well, like a peach or like a
ooh,
coral
coral's
type of thing.
pretty. My 13-year-old godson told my friend that he identifies now as female. Okay, so your 13-year-old godchild now identifies as female? All power to her. Her mother. I'm going to correct now just because I can.
That's a nice catch because I didn't even. I was confused because they said female and then his mother, so
But
I was
again, and no
confused.
disrespect in any way, Jeff, at all. It's just, yeah, see, you got me. You know what I'm talking about. We cool. We cool.
Yeah, nude. A nude would be pretty, like a taupe. Isn't taupe like kind of like a nude peach,
Kind of ish.
kind of, right? No, it's Jeffrey. That's what we're
Yeah.
we're talking about. It's just
Feel
like
free.
your brain is used to seeing one thing
You
and one
are.
thing only.
Society in its form, unfortunately, sees a lot of things in a gender binary. You are either male or female, and that's unfortunate. I have a coworker who isn't transitioning, but he identifies as male. Yep. I know a lot of people who are not medically trans. There's different forms of transitioning, okay? For people who aren't up on all of that part. You can socially transition, which means your gender identity and your gender expression. I'm gonna get to the Amazon wish list. There's nothing on it right now, but I will. Everything is on my page. I think there might be one thing on there, but so your gender expression is how you present yourself. So you don't have to be medically transitioning to present as the gender that you identify. So, for example, I didn't have to begin taking hormone replacement therapy in order to be considered trans. I could have still presented female if I identified as female, and I would have been just as much a female as anybody else because that's how I feel and that's who I am. But there are so you are I want boobs, Damien. Like straight up, man. Like that's easy question there.
I think that that's
But
great, Chris Moo.
yeah, so you can socially transition without medically transitioning. And some people do not all the boobs, just two, one here, that I'm good.
Well, like how
Um,
like what size?
I'm thinking about probably like 430 cc either
Is
side
that
would be
these?
good. Well, I'm about a B right now. You can't see it under this hoodie, but I'm thinking to me, and this is how I've mentioned it to people when they ask about if I want to get an augmentation or not. I would like for my breasts to fit my frame so that
Mm-hmm.
I get misgendered less.
Uh-huh. That makes
I
sense.
don't like the fact that even though I can dress to the nines, I will still get misgendered because my chest is not big. And I don't want it big. I just want it to fit my frame. I just want to feel comfortable in my own skin. That's what that is creepy every time that pops up on your Twitch feed. You know what I mean though? Like I don't care if my breasts are tiny. I don't want to be identified as a male when I'm out and about.
Uh-huh.
And
Oh my
unfortunately,
god, what is
that gets
that?
viewed as
Oh my
um
god! What is
cosmetic
that?
to get that done. But no, because if I go and get an augmentation, as much as Carla doesn't like fake boobies as she calls it, I would feel I feel I would be misgendered less when I'm out and about because
Uh-huh.
misgendering makes a person feel like absolute trash.
Yeah.
Right? Like unless I'm wearing like a double push-up with like a bikini top and short shorts, I still get misgendered and it fucking sucks. Okay, in terms of medically transitioning, does that have any health effects? I only ask because I've heard people taking things like estrogen. Not a problem at all, Ritz. So, and if I've missed anybody else's question, feel free to let me know. Hopefully, somebody else caught it. So, medically transitioning does have health effects. So, for example, most of what I'm taking can cause blood clots and cancers and everything else. And I was made aware of all of the risks before I started taking everything, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. So some of the health effects now, I can now be susceptible to breast cancer, just like any other cis female, because I've developed the breast tissue. Um, I can have blood clots. There's so many things that can affect me. Hormones affect so many things in the body, so it's not like taking them doesn't have their like effects. You know what I mean? Like I'm hoping that kind of
Mm-hmm.
got to the point of what you're asking me there. Um, it's like yes, what I'm taking can hurt me, but a lot of what we take on a day to day can actually hurt us or hinder us or cause some health effects one way, shape, or form. I try to look and we usually always take the lesser of the evils as much as we can. And in my case, I would rather live as like die as her than live as him, if that makes any sense. As dark as that might sound, I would not be able to live as him anymore.
No, I think that that's very well said.
And there was,
Katoff
I have
asked
a
a
fair
question.
question. How far into your transition did you meet your fiance? We met on Plenty of Fish. I'll be to say that because I think that's amusing as hell. So I owe that app finding the love of my life. Um, is that a mirror behind your? I'll get to that one. One sec. So we met. I was about 3 years, 3.5 years into my transition when her and I met. We started talking online, and 2 years? Was it 2 years? Really? Okay. 27. Man, time blows by when you're with the person that feels like you've known them your entire life. So apparently, I was on hormones for 2 years when I met her because I started in 2017. We met when I moved to Corner Brook. You'll find that place in Google. I don't really care at this point. Um, and we met talking online and was back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And we just really hit it off. And like, she's just everything. She really is.
No.
Like, I don't think there's a better part of life in general than waking up to this woman every day.
I know
Like,
you
there's
sent me
not.
that picture of her the other night. You were like Sleeping Beauty. It was like, oh, so cute.
Oh, you were asleep at that time, so you couldn't say no. You're
I only
fine.
saw the back of your head. That was the only thing.
Yeah, like when Clam was there and I took a picture of the dog and she was like, what's Carla doing? And I was like clicking, you were like you were back of your head out freaking cold. You were asleep. But yeah, it's like yes. So Kagome and I are IRL friends. We've known each other for what feels like forever now. And I was living with her when well, her and Daddy when me and Carla started talking. And yeah, I don't regret anything that brought me to where I'm currently to, transition wise or relationship wise. Um, we got together very quickly. We got engaged very quickly, and I'm not shy about any of it. She is. I cannot wait to be her wife on paper, considering I'm basically her wife anyway.
I'm excited.
You
Okay,
best be getting a passport and flying your ass up here for that. That's all I'm saying.
Beach, I already got a passport.
We good. We good. You got an invite.
I would be so honored. Damien asked about the mirror or a gap to a different room
Okay,
behind
so
you.
yeah, I'm not sure if you can see it or not on the shrunk down version. Oh, that
It's
way,
that
yeah.
other side.
This is a closet because this used to be like a spare room kind of thing. So we turned it into a gaming room. So this used to be Carla's original room when she had an itty bitty little hobbit home. So
Oh.
yeah, she had a new expansion put onto the house, and we got a new bigger room because I have a lot of clothes would never fit in that little tiny ass closet. So.
I love that. Okay. Anybody got any more questions for Quinn? We had blocked her off for 2 hours of her time, and she's probably getting kind of sore at this point.
I'm good at this point. I have
Okay,
candy.
good.
Unless you got something else you want to do, we can. If not, you can keep asking questions.
Okay. Anybody got questions? I have that list to refer to if I need to.
For whoever's curious, this is what I'm eating. It is heaven.
Gay bacon, as she called it.
Gay bacon. I love it.
Can Firebolt make an appearance?
Maybe.
Hey,
Come
babe.
here. Come, just the once. Come here. Hang on, baby, please. It's for kids.
Oh, she doesn't have to. She doesn't have to.
It's a sour bacon strip, basically, Pizzo, and it's delicious. And I've always called it gay bacon because it's got like it looks like pride colors, so I kind of love it. Oh, come here. Come on. Come on. Come show me some love. Come show everybody some love.
We love you, Carla.
Come on. You look cute. Come here. Oh, she's coming. There she comes.
She's coming?
Can you guys see? Come here. Can you see that?
No, she
I'm
gotta
not
come
sure.
closer. I can't see her.
Come on. I'm gonna get top of your head. Come on. Come here. I'm gonna move over here. Come here.
Oh,
Oh, come
oh, you're
here.
so beautiful.
She is the love of my life. She is amazing.
We love
How did
you.
Corona affect my life? It postponed a lot of surgeries for a lot of people, including myself. So I was on a waiting list for SRS, and Corona kind of put the kibosh on that. Um, Beyond that, not too much. We basically just I worked from home. That was pretty much it was for me. So my job was still intact, and that kind of you made top stay. So my job pretty much, pardon me, excuse me, stayed intact and went as was. So nothing really changed there for me. So
Okay, I have this list. Let's see if I can find something on here. Um,
here's one thing that's funny, and I'm not sure if, and this will happen for any same-sex couple, and it drives me nuts. And that's funny, tough. So many things come to mind for that statement. But I've actually gotten asked
he's in
which
the
of us
way.
is
Here,
the
let me get him
guy,
out.
and I was like,
Sorry, go ahead.
what? I've literally been asked which of us is the guy.
What?
When two girls are together, neither of them are the guy.
Juno,
I
hush. Oh, like a sex
I
thing?
don't. Well, like, which of you is the guy in the relationship? What? Like, none of us. We're both girls. Yeah, but which of you is the guy? Did I stutter? Like, I don't understand that.
I mean, I also hate that too. I think that it just comes from like you said, like the society's
Ooh, that's a really good. That's a long question, Rich. Sweet.
You can go
How
ahead
do
and
you
answer
think?
that.
How do you think the stigma against trans people can be combated here in the UK? I know there's a lot of it. Yeah, no kidding. I've been following up on that. It's partially due to many not fully understanding. I'm very open-minded. I think, Ritz, honestly, stigma can be combated by knowledge. If more people were made aware and had an understanding of everything that a person who is transgender goes through and how they identify, why they identify, or anything, it's knowledge. Knowledge combats stigma. Understanding combats stigma. And if and that's stigma for anything, not just against trans people. Like, I'm a supporter for mental health. I work for a mental health organization. And one of the biggest things that we deal with so much is stigma. And stigma can only be beaten with understanding, truth, and knowledge.
Yeah.
So the more people that learn, the more people that understand, the more people that make it take it upon themselves to self-educate, to learn and understand things, then stigma will go away. But until that happens, it's going to be very difficult. And I have all the love for those in the UK, and I know that the UK government's making things really hard on people right now, and I truly hope that in time that changes. Nothing in the world's going to change overnight. Like, we're not that lucky. If that was the case, I could have saved myself a hell of a long time with that whole surgery stuff. Because, man, let me tell you, that wasn't a pickle. But yeah, like, it's definitely knowledge. Knowledge and understanding and truth will battle that stigma.
Yeah, Damien and Ritz are kind of saying the same thing.
Yeah, I guess a guy is supposed to have certain roles like working for the family, which is really weird in two-income homes now, and a girl cooking at home. I mean, I do all the cooking. That doesn't make me the well, I mean, I am the wife. We're technically both the wife. Who's the boss? Definitely her. Uh, but yeah, no, it's an old mentality. It really is. It's 100%. It's an old mentality.
Yeah.
What else you got, Clam? What else you got?
All right, wait, hold on. Let me look at this list again because I lost it.
I hear a lot of clicking from Carla over there. I cooked the egg, thank you. Because I can't cook a scrambled egg to save my freaking life. I will get one egg that's this wide in a bloody frying pan. That's like you need a micrometer to figure out how thick it is. I can't cook a fried egg.
Okay, here's a good one. So as far as like being an ally and stuff like that, how do you go about telling or asking someone, like, to either telling them what yours is or asking someone what their pronouns are? Like, how
You don't
it's not
ask.
something that's super common. You don't.
You don't. When I go to meet somebody for the first time, I usually, hi, my name is Quinn. My pronouns are she, her.
Okay.
There's no pressure on the other person to tell me their pronouns,
Okay.
but that makes the other person usually feel comfortable enough to know that they can tell you what their pronouns are.
Gotcha.
That's like at the bottom of all of my emails, and I've gotten mostly all of my work associates to do it as well. When they've got their names, it also puts my pronouns are. So even when you're getting an email, it has the person's pronouns on it.
I'm gonna do that on mine. That's so
Right?
smart. Where's
And
my
it's
pen?
so simple. It's so simple.
It is,
Like
yeah.
just in your email signature, when after you've got your name, it's just like my pronouns are she, her, he, him, they, them, or whatever you want like whatever your pronouns are. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Comfort
no,
food.
I think
My comfort food, Damien, craft pizza kits. The whole kit, cardboard and all. No, I'm joking. They are the best pizzas in the world. We actually have one here that's bought that we're gonna mail down for Clam to make because
yeah,
they are
I'm gonna
the
make it on
most
stream.
amazing pizzas in the world. I could literally eat them 3 meals a day. I'd be as big as a house, but I'd be a happy house. Okay, like they are just amazing pizzas.
Back to the pronouns thing. I think that's a super simple way to go about it or whatever. Like
It
I'm
is.
excited for that because like me, I've recently found out that the people that I'm working for, like the people that we're building this gym with and stuff, are like pretty freaking conservative Republicans and stuff, even though I've told them that I plan on hosting like specific events for the LGBTQA plus community, for people of color and all of this stuff and everything, and they seem okay with it until I see their Facebook posts and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And so I think that this is a really good way for me to add to the fact that this is what
Yeah.
I'm my plan is, and then them see it on an email and hopefully them take note.
I see Damien's questions there. So if you don't know how to address a person, is it okay to assume gender? No. Never assume a person's gender. Ideally, if I don't know the gender of a person, I try to go with they, them, or avoid using a pronoun altogether until the person provides me the pronoun that they want to use. Um, that's hard to do in some areas. So I'm from a small community, and there's a lot of stuff that gets thrown around here that we do not mean it as a designation of gender. Like we say man a lot around here, or my
Uh
dude, and stuff like that. I don't see those, or like my son. I tell you, like no, like that's just like it's literally that's this it's slang. It's slang
uh
terms. It doesn't negate a gender, not in my mind. Um, if I correct a person and they keep doing it, that's a completely different story. But for the most part, I look at stuff like my dude or man or my son. I tell you, by it's a strong weather down here. Like that's just figures of speech. I don't take that personally. That's not
or like
assuming a gender.
guys when you refer
Yeah,
to a
like
group of people as guys. Hey guys, what's going on?
I don't that doesn't phase me at all. I mean, again, this is not I'm not the end all be all. when people do it. Like I don't care about that stuff. My camera just decided to die on me. Yay! Oh, it's working again. Yay! Oh, nope, 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 nope. Come back,
You're
camera.
there. I see
Behave,
you.
behave yourself, camera. But yeah, stuff like that doesn't bother me. But again, when it comes to talking to a person, if it bothers them, that's what you got to take into consideration. Now,
Uh-huh.
there's a difference between being understanding and then if a person is just, man, you can't please everybody. Like straight
Yeah.
up, you can't. It's you do the best you can. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
I hope that answers your questions, Damien. I would highly recommend getting comfortable with using they, them. And for anybody who's dealing with they, them pronouns and find it very difficult, I'm part of the community and I screw this up. The easiest method for me is to think that you're talking to two people.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're going to be they and them because you're thinking plural.
Yeah.
And then it'll be easier to remember a they, them pronoun. Just a little tidbit.
That's awesome.
So is this gay bacon. This is amazing. Does y'all work
Oh, yeah,
as
that's true.
y'all also does? I'm okay with y'all. I mean that works for me. A lot
Y'all
of
is
people
just
put
an
it in social
acronym
media.
for you all.
Pretty much.
That's
And
all a
yeah,
y'all
Ritz, a lot
is.
of people put it in like all over their social media stuff now, like their pronouns or preferred pronouns. I hate saying it when people use it as if it's your preferred pronouns. It's not my preferred anything. It's my pronouns. Like that's it. Like it's my pronouns are. It's not my preferred pronouns. Like not my preferred hair color isn't brown. My hair color is brown. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
silly. I'm slowly running out of gay bacon, but I have another pack, so I'm good. I'm being
Uh.
scolded because I'm diabetic.
Oh, are you?
Yeah,
How are you eating that much sugar?
I'm type 2 diabetic and it's diet controlled, so it doesn't really bother me for the most part. It'll
Oh,
spike it
okay.
every now and then, not enough to cause me any bodily harm. And besides, it's gay bacon. Like this stuff's almost as good as sex. It's fantastic.
All right. Any more questions for Quinn about anything? Oh my god, my stickers. I keep getting stuck to other things.
I truly hope that, I mean, yes, I try to make this as humorous as possible because that's, I find if you make a person upset or angry, they're probably not going to remember you, but you make a person laugh and chances are they're not going to forget that you made them laugh. So I try to use humor to get information across to people.
Yeah.
and kind of go from there. But I really hope that everybody who's watching this tonight, or if they again if they've got questions, feel free to send them my way. If I don't know the answer, I'll find somebody who does. And I hope you all pulled something and learned something as best as possible. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just information. What you all do with it is entirely up to you. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, balls in your court. I mean, you can bring a horse to water, you can't make it drink, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Just throw insulin at your body. That's what my diabetic mate does. That's what
Yeah, that
Rit
doesn't
said.
work for me.
Where
I
can
get it
I
at the
order this?
Dollarama. I get it at the Dollarama, and it's literally like my favorite candy in the world. Like I love this stuff.
Oh my goodness.
I
Well,
mean,
all
if
right.
dick tastes like this, I probably would have questioned marrying a dude. Not gonna lie. Okay, yeah. I
Oh
love you,
my
baby.
god. You're
I'm being
so
glared at.
funny.
I'm being glared. I love you.
Love you.
I can feel the glaring coming from the back of your head when I make comments like that. Okay.
Ritz said, is it rainbow then? Will you show them?
Basically, yeah. Hang on. It looks like this.
It's
And
gay
ever since
bacon.
I was, yeah. So anytime I've ever seen it, even as a kid, I'm like, oh my God, it's the pride flag. And me and my friends just started calling it gay bacon. And it stuck. And oddly enough, almost every person I've ever met who's a part of the community, if they like sour candy and you ask them about gay bacon, they know exactly what you're talking about. So
That's
I'm not
so
the only one that
funny.
thought it.
Yeah, no.
I like this approach of fun learning. I definitely right like man, reading is good. People learn three ways. They're auditory learners, they're tactile learners, or they're physical learners. Some people are a combination of the three. Most people are more one or the other. I'm a tactile person, but humor, I can remember almost every joke I've ever been told if I found it funny because that's how I remember things. Humor helps me remember things, and I try to use that with everybody else. And it seems to work so far.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it. And again, thank you so much for doing this with us, and I hope that it's helped at least anyone in here. I know it's helped me, and I appreciate it, and you're amazing, and thank you for your time.
Oh, like I could like could anyone really say no to Clam? Like look at her. Look how cute and adorable she is.
What you talking about?
Look, oh, my goal is to make her blush on stream and it's working. Look at those cheeks. There they go. There they go. Oh, I win. I win.
All right. Well,
There,
you enjoy the rest of your gay bacon. Go get off your butt.
I shall. Thank you, everybody. And everybody, if you haven't already followed Clam, you should go and follow Clam. She's an amazing
No,
person.
go follow
And I
you.
think that what she's doing and raising awareness and just being friendly to everybody, like she and a few other people in here, Kagome and Teeny and Bruni, helped me get to affiliate when I first made it to Twitch and gave me an absolutely amazing place to start and an amazing friend pool. And I consider them all like family. So, I mean, take a little note from how she's doing things. It's great.
Well, I love you so much, and I'm so happy that you feel comfortable and safe here. It's the only thing that I can hope for. So thank you so much. I love you.
Love you too.
Why are you trying to make me cry? I love you.
Aw, you're
For like
sweet.
the
I love
third
you,
time.
nieces. You're amazing. All right.
All
You have
right.
a good evening, and
You too.
we'll be following you. Take care.
Okay. Take care. Bye.
Bye.